Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we re-diving into a timeless story that has a powerful lesson we can all use in our daily lives. It's the classic tale of the Woodman and the god Mercury, but let's look at it with fresh eyes and see what it truly teaches us about integrity, opportunity, and the real meaning of wealth. Our story begins deep in a forest, beside a quiet, dark pool. A poor woodman is hard at work. He's been swinging his axe since the sun came up, and now, as evening approaches, he's exhausted. His muscles ache, his grip is weak, and his swings are becoming clumsy. Then, the unfortunate happens. With one tired swing, the axe flies right out of his hands, spins through the air, and disappears with a splash into the deep water of the pool. The woodman is overcome with despair. He rushes to the edge, peering into the murky depths, but his axe is gone. This wasn't just a tool, it was his entire livelihood. It was how he fed his family, how he built his life. Without it, he was ruined. He didn't have a single coin to his name to buy a new one. All he could do was stand there, wringing his hands with tears of hopelessness streaming down his face. His world had just fallen apart. As he wept, a shimmering light appeared over the water, and a figure emerged. It was the god Mercury, the messenger of the gods. He saw the woodman's distress and asked him gently, "My good man, what is the matter? Why are you in such sorrow?" Through his tears, the woodman explained his terrible misfortune. He told Mercury how his only axe, his means of survival, had slipped from his grasp and was now lost at the bottom of the deep pool. Mercury, being a kind and powerful god, listened with sympathy. He felt for the man's plight. "Do not despair," he said. "I will help you." Without another word, Mercury took a graceful dive, disappearing beneath the surface of the water. A moment later, he rose from the pool, his hand holding something that glittered in the fading sunlight. It was a magnificent axe, crafted entirely from solid gold. It was a treasure fit for a king. He presented it to the woodman and asked, "Is this your axe? Now put yourself in the woodman's shoes. He's poor, desperate, and has just lost everything. Here, a god is offering him a fortune. An axe made of pure gold would solve all his problems and make him rich beyond his wildest dreams." The temptation must have been immense. He could have easily said yes. Who would know? But the woodman looked at the incredible golden axe, shook his head, and answered honestly, "No, that is not my axe. Mine was just a simple tool with a wooden handle." Mercury smiled slightly, impressed by the man's reply. He placed the golden axe on the bank of the pool and, without hesitation, dived back into the water. The ripples settled, and a moment later, he emerged again. This time, he held an axe made of pure, gleaming silver. It was another object of immense value. "Perhaps this one is yours?" Mercury asked, holding out the silver axe. Again, the woodman was faced with a choice. The silver axe was still a massive fortune. It would change his life completely. He could have taken it, sold it, and never had to work another day in his life. But again, he looked at the beautiful axe and spoke the truth. "No, sir," he said respectfully. "That is not mine either. My axe is just an ordinary one." Mercury's admiration for the woodman grew. It was rare to see such honesty, especially from someone in such a desperate situation. He laid the silver axe on the bank next to the golden one and dived into the pool for a third and final time. When he surfaced, he was holding a plain, well-used axe with a worn wooden handle. It was chipped and clearly had seen many days of hard labor. The woodman's face lit up with relief and joy. "That's it, that's my axe," he exclaimed. Thank you so much, you've saved me." He was overjoyed just to have his humble tool back. Mercury was profoundly moved by the woodman's unwavering honesty. He handed him his old axe and said, "I have seen what is in your heart. Your integrity is a rare and precious thing. To reward you for your truthfulness, I want you to have all 3 axes." He gestured to the golden and silver axes lying on the bank. "Take them. You have earned them not with your labor, but with your character." The woodman could hardly believe his ears. He was speechless. He left the forest that day a rich man, but more importantly, he left with his integrity validated. He returned to his village, his old axe on his shoulder and the 2 priceless treasures in his arms. Of course, a story like this travels fast. Soon, everyone in the village had heard about the poor woodman's incredible good fortune. And as you might expect, this news sparked not inspiration, but greed in the hearts of some of his neighbors. A few other woodmen in the village thought, well, that sounds easy enough. I can do that. They decided to try and replicate the situation for themselves. One by one, they went out into the forest, found a spot near a body of water, and made a show of losing their axes. They would hide their own tool in a bush, then stand by the water's edge, putting on a big performance of weeping and wailing. They called out for Mercury, hoping the god would appear and offer them the same deal. And believe it or not, Mercury did appear. To the first greedy woodman he came and, just like before, dived into the water and brought up the golden axe. "Is this your axe?" Mercury asked, his expression unreadable. The man's eyes widened with avarice. Without a second of hesitation he shouted, "Yes, yes. That's it, that's my axe. Thank you for finding it." He eagerly reached for the prize, but Mercury didn't hand it over. The god's friendly demeanor vanished. Instead he looked at the man with disappointment and anger. He didn't give him the golden axe. Oh no. Instead, he gave the dishonest man a hard whack on the head with it and sent him running home in pain and shame. The same thing happened to the others. Each one who tried to trick the god was met with the same test. Each one lied, claiming the golden axe as their own. And each one received not a reward, but a painful lesson from Mercury before being sent away empty-handed. To make matters worse, when these dishonest woodmen returned to the forest the next day to retrieve their own axes that they had hidden, they were gone. In their attempt to gain a fortune through deceit, they ended up losing the very tools they needed to make an honest living. They ended up with nothing. And that brings us to the core message of the story. Honesty is the best policy. It's a simple phrase, one we've all heard a million times, but this story illustrates it so perfectly. The first woodman was rewarded not for being poor or for losing his axe, but for his integrity. Even when faced with a life-changing temptation, he chose the truth. His reward was a direct result of his character. True wealth, the story suggests, isn't just about gold and silver. It's about being a person of honor. The other woodmen saw only the outcome, the treasure, and not the cause, the honesty. They tried to game the system. They thought they could fake the circumstance and get the reward, but they missed the entire point. Mercury wasn't rewarding the act of losing an axe. He was testing and rewarding character. Their greed and deceit were immediately exposed, and they were punished for it, losing even what they originally had. This story is a powerful reminder that shortcuts in life, especially dishonest ones, rarely pay off. In the long run, integrity, truthfulness, and good character are our most valuable assets. They build trust, they open doors, and as our story shows, they can sometimes lead to unexpected rewards far greater than anything we could have achieved through deception. So, what can we take away from this? It's about the choices we make when no one is watching. It's about valuing our principles over a quick profit. In a world that can sometimes feel like it rewards the loudest and the most cunning, this ancient fable reminds us that there is a quiet, profound power in simply being honest. Thanks so much for watching and thinking about this story with me today. What did you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe for more stories and lessons from the past. See you in the next one.